Good afternoon and welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me live at MarketSite is Schubert. She's the CEO of KY3P, an IHS market company, and we're going to focus on due diligence and just how intricate it is within the marketplace. Ellen, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
At MarketSite today. And my favorite story is, tell us about KY3P. How do you get that name?
Know your third party. Easy to remember.
Very clever. Let's talk about due diligence. It's a really intricate process, and professionals have to get this right.
Yeah, exactly. So the problem is most of the banks, hedge funds, asset managers over the last 10 years have outsourced significant parts of their business. With the outsourcing comes additional risks. You don't have control of your own environment. So the issue is you have to, not only from a best practices, but from a regulatory perspective, ensure that you understand the risks that come into your enterprise with your vendors.
Well, let's talk about the evolution of due diligence, particularly the unique regional circumstances around the globe.
Sure. So each of the regions, Asia, Europe, and North America, have their own regulatory requirements when it comes to due diligence, primarily focused on cybersecurity. So if you're a global organization, you have to comply with different sets of regulations. So our product really helps the industry understand what the requirements are and helps you manage those global regulatory requirements.
So for example, a company based in the US but does European business, that's why they have to be on board with MiFID regardless of where they're based. If you want to do global business.
You got it.
All right. So where do you think due diligence is going to go over the next 10 years?
It's going to get more and more complex. More and more of the businesses will be outsourced. So firms are going to focus on their core competence and outsource everything else. So this is not an issue that's going away. It will get more complex and more convoluted in terms of who are my vendors, from my taxi cab drivers that I hire to take my customers somewhere. I need to understand that they do background checks, to outsourcing all of my operations. What do you do in terms of your cybersecurity with my information?
All right, and to wrap up, what is IHS Markit doing specifically in this space?
We're working with a number of large banks, Barclays, HSBC, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, and UBS, creating a community of consumers and vendors and collaborating to create more efficiency through this system.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining us at MarketSite, and thank you for joining me throughout the day. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.